This is part of a Ford Super Duty. Just the front end, and I don't have the rear axle. We're working on that. This is the bed off of an old F350, not a Super Duty, and this is a gas 460 engine out of that same F350. Basically, we are trying to scrap several trucks together to make one decent single axle dump truck for the homestead. Now, there are a ton of arguments, and they are good ones, for why it'd be better to just go out and buy one so we could get straight to use for using it. But I've got my reasons for just trying to build it this way. We're going to talk about that a little bit today, try to explain my side of the story, and hopefully get some work done on this floor pan, because that's where we left off. Let's get to work. As far as the argument that people keep making that it'd be better to go out and just buy one so it's ready to use, I have felt that comment no more than I am right now this morning. Last time we worked on this thing, we were patching in this floor pan, and I've never done anything like that before, and I kind of wanted to learn and play around with it using our little Vever 270 MIG welder, running it off the propane generator inside. And this is where we got to pick up this morning. We rebuilt this. That all looks really nice. We still got to do this. We got a little rotted out spot right there. And today we're hoping to get this part fixed up and finished, and we got that right there as well. Just kind of right there, the whole general right there. And the first part of what I said there is kind of the main reason we're doing it the way we're doing it. But after all the time and effort it took to work on that floor last time, although I'm happy that I've learned something, man, do the trucks on Facebook Marketplace look really appealing. It is daily now that I scroll through Facebook Marketplace looking at little single axle dump trucks. And you can get some that run good and dump good, anywhere from 3,000 all the way up to 10,000. And if you want something in really good shape, you're going to have to be above 10 grand on it. And we could buy it, we could go out, and we could be ready to work. And honestly, for what I'm going to spend on this to get it where I want it, we're probably going to be somewhere in that price range. My goal is to be under 6 grand with this project. And there are plenty of trucks on there that run and dump good for 6 grand that we could be sitting in today moving material. But instead, we're going to work on this floor system. I'm dreading working on this floor so much that I went out and decided to collect some syrup and start getting it cooking down. Figured it'd be a good morning to get this old pile of rotten logs burnt down. Just finding anything I can do to keep me from starting on this. But if we want to get past this part and get into the more fun stuff, I got to get to work. I need to get my bearings here and figure out just exactly where I left off. Got that trimmed out how I want it the rest of the way. We'll take a wire wheel down in here and clean this up best that we can. Then we're going to make a piece out of some extra sheet we got with that little bend in it. Perfect timing. Just got a new shipment from Benchmark Abrasives. All kinds of goodies. Got a whole bunch of extra cutoff wheels. We got some of these paint stripping discs. Oh yeah. We are set up. Benchmark Abrasives. These guys are awesome. I've been using them for a couple years now. Love them. Get a quick measurement here. Oh, my kneeling pad. Very nice. Go. This is some metal we harvested off the roof of that other F350. not too bad. We're a little aggressive on that one. See how this fits. Shove it down in there, and then we can weld it on the bottom. It's just crazy. There's a hole, no hole. Oh, that's, wow. That's nice. Look at that. Would you just look at it? So I just ran out of wire. I'm almost done getting that piece welded on. I actually had a subscriber recommend this wire, and he recommended it so much he actually sent me 2 spools of it. He says it's what he uses when he does flux core, and he loves it. And we're going to put it on and try it out. It's called US Forge, made in China. So that's how that masterpiece turned out. We're going to use the term masterpiece pretty lightly here, but certainly more solid than the air that was there before. This is going to be our next one right here. I think I'm just going to cut a piece out close to the size, and then we'll weld it on and just try to beat it down to match that the best that we can. But I've also never done this before, so who really knows? As somebody. And it's not this guy though. No, we're just making this up as we go, and we're having fun. I like what it's doing. I need this right here to pull up, and I don't have access from the back side. It's kind of doubled up right there. I don't own a slide hammer. What do I own? I could put right there to get it to pull for me. Better off just bending it like that. And then that's just going to be considered decoration. Hey, that looks pretty good if I just do it like that. Well, it didn't work as a slide hammer. Terrible design. But as a lever, excellent. So that side's tidied up over there. I just put this piece right there in, and we're down to this little inside corner. And then I think we'll be these inside pillars, and that'll be it for the patch. Sometimes my fingers get real nervous about my decisions. I'm gonna cut a little bit of this stuff out. We'll leave quite a bit, so we got plenty to weld to. I'm gonna cut some of these bad spots out. Now, if I wanted, I could get on eBay, I could get on Google, I could find some floor pans or floor pan kits. I'm pretty sure the floor pans are the same from the Bronco, the 150, 250, and 350 from 80 through 90 something, late 90s, I think. I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me on it. But a fella could buy those. But trying to stick to the whole point of this build, trying to teach myself or learn something that I've never done before, I kind of want to do the old beat to fit and paint to match techniques, some of these old school techniques where I just take some tin I got laying around, weld it in place, and get it to work. Now that theory is slightly flawed because I don't have all the special tools I'm supposed to have to do that, but I got some random hammers and a MIG welder and a little bit of time, so I think we can get this to work. But if you ever did want to take on a floor pan, and you didn't want to do this, you could definitely get the floor pans online, cut it out, slip them into place, and spot weld them or weld them on however you choose. So even though I could go buy a truck that runs and dumps for the amount of money I'm going to put into this, 2 points. One, whenever I'm done with this, it'll be, we'll call it 98% new. It's going to be a pretty decent truck. We're going to put some time and effort into it and try to do it as right as we can. And the other thing is that if it does ever break down, I will absolutely know this vehicle inside and out, and we'll be able to fix whatever breaks down. But the main reason I want to do it like this is just to learn something. I just want a good, strong, reliable running rig that's going to last us some time here. Something that can put the work into it. In fact, I don't want it to be perfect. I don't want it to be a show truck because we're going to put this thing into places it shouldn't be in, and we're going to end up with some dents and dings and probably some broken glass at some point with this thing. So in the end, hopefully we get a decent truck and I have a few more skill sets. Now, they're not going to be professional skill sets. But shade tree skill sets, it's going to be a box we can check for sure. It's pretty wild to look in this thing and see a relatively solid floor. We'll call her 99% compared to all the big rust holes that were in it before. So the last big metalwork thing, on each side, you've got this rot spot. Same thing over here. In fact, we've got some holes there too. I think we're going to cut that out. Try to fill that in. Got a bunch of stuff in it. I also need to figure out if there's supposed to be a weep hole on the bottom that needs opened up or what. Not 100% sure what caused that. You can see all the junk that's fallen down in that. It just holds moisture and causes that to rot out. It's the following morning. The first sheet was fun, right? It was like, hey, we're doing it. It's working. Every piece after that, you slowly lose motivation because it starts to become monotonous. It's no longer this new, exciting adventure. This is all old rotten stuff. It's all punky. I just need it cleaned up. We've just been throwing it in here, letting it cook down. And I'll be completely honest, I'm really at that point that I'm just over welding the pans in. So much so that we're doing just some odds and ends in the bathroom at the house, a little remodel, changing some things we didn't like whenever we built the house. So this morning I woke up and said, I need to go weld that sheet pan. But first, I'm gonna put a second coat of mud on. I was more excited about that than I was finishing this. I think I'm just gonna trace this out. I really need to clean this out too. There's just a bunch of junk in here. I'm going to take the blow nozzle, blow as much out as I can, then a shop vac, shove her in there. We'll give those vapors a chance to clear out over there before we get too big of a fireball. While we're waiting, let's go ahead and shop back this side out too. This side's way worse. Something just made a home in here for sure. This stuff just acts like a sponge and holds the moisture in. Causes a lot of that rot. Is it an absolutely tremendous amount of work? Yeah, you betcha. Are there definitely times where you get tired of doing the same repetitive process over and over and over again when it comes to doing projects like this? 100%. And it can definitely be difficult to find the motivation to get going on a project when you know what you're getting ready to do, you're kind of dreading. Every project like this is going to have its ups and downs. That's just the way it works. But at the end of it, whenever we do get this finished, there's going to be that sense of pride. It's an overused cliche that built, not bought. You see people use it in hashtags and bumper stickers, and they slap it on everything. And to a lot of people, it might not make sense. I mean, just go buy it, be done with it, get it to work, use it. But to the select few that understand that satisfaction, there's no other feeling like it. We're going to see if we can get this all finished up and take advantage of this warm weather we got this week, because it's supposed to get cold again next week. Hopefully we can get a coat of POR15 on it, which means the next video we could get the seam sealer and the bed liner we're going to put down on the floor. So here's what we're looking like now. Next step I'm going to do, I'm going to take the old flap wheel and we're just going to chase those welds. We're not trying to get them super smooth. I'm not putting a whole lot of effort into it. I'm just knocking down the big ugly stuff so nobody trips getting in and out of it. You know, that's the main thing. There's going to be a lot of daylight pop up here. That's okay. Let's first pass with the flap wheel. Next thing I want to do, we still got a lot of this adhesive from the sound deadening or whatever you want to call it that was on the floor pan. I'm going to try this stripping disc. I think that might be the ticket to getting all that off of there. I don't know if you remember what it looked like when we first started on this floor, but this is getting exciting. I'm going to take a wire wheel and go around one more time with the wire wheel. There's just some spots, little crevices that stripper disc and the flap wheel can't get into around these washers. Oh, I need to run that, miss that whole section. Need to do that. So I'm using a POR15. I've used it before. I've had really good luck with it. I'm going to brush it and roll it. And the main reason I'm doing that, it says spraying, is, well, one, I don't have a sprayer, but I do plan on getting one. The main reason I'm brushing and rolling is because I really want to make sure I get it worked down in all these nooks and crannies. We're not worried about runs or anything looking fancy. This is a utilitarian thing. We are going to do seam sealer, but I was reading on the seam sealer and talking to some people, and they said you can do it before or after primer. And this is my primer. Essentially, it's supposed to be a rust encapsulator. I used it on the Ford 555 and I've really liked it. I think it's done a great job. Anybody I've seen have complaints about it normally just do really bad surface prep. It's not a fix-all. I mean, if the steel's too far gone, if it's rust jacking, this isn't going to put the metal back together. Just nice with the brush because I can really make sure I get it worked down in those welds, you know. The only bad thing about POR15 is once you open it, that's it. That's your one shot. It doesn't store very well, so if you buy it, my advice is don't buy a gallon thinking you'll use a little bit over time. Just buy only what you need, and they do sell it. You can get like a 6-pack of small cans, which is a pretty good idea. Not sponsored or partnered, by the way. I've had good luck with their stuff. So. And a technique that's just taken me years to perfect. We're just going to roll the rest. just, you know, those are going to be glued down for sure. Well, it's not fancy, but it should be functional. Definitely not a professional pan job by any means, but it is a huge improvement considering what we started with. We're going to be on this for a while. We're going to keep going with this build till sometime early March, mid-March, hopefully, when we're done with this thing, and then we'll be back on the YouTube. Yeah, so next video, right back on that seam sealer. We're going to do some bed liner on there. That's going to be the bottom, and then clean it up and get some other stuff prepped and ready in the engine bay. I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you're enjoying whatever it is you do with the rest of your day or whatever you did before this. I don't know. I'm just rambling now, but I definitely appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. I gotta pick that stuff up.